Okay, proereika. Proereika. So, for I've said before that y'all are in our hearts. Then this preposition plus an articular infinitive. Here we have the articular infinitive of sunapothnesko. That's a compound word. I'm going to begin with the verb, and then we're going to build back to the preposition, okay? Apothnesko, this is a compound word. Sun, which means with, plus apothnesko means die. And so this with plus die, it means die with you, die with someone. The infinitive alone is to die with you. Okay? And then this is an articular, to die with you. And then ace plus this articular infinitive is tantamount to result. Ace plus the articular infinitive can mean result, it can mean purpose, and other functions. Here is result. There's a kai as well, and another articular infinitive, which also is part of this article. Sutsein, to live with. So both of these infinitives go with the article, and thus with the preposition as well. So with the result that we would die and we will live with, die with and live with. This result clause demands for y'all are in our hearts so much or in such a manner that we would die, with the result that we would die with you and live with you. This is personal love. Added to the normal impersonal love that the pastor has to have towards his congregation. Paul has many people, many different churches now, who is part of his flock now as the apostle. But now the Corinthians, they are object of their personal love, that they would be willing to die with them, and not only die but live with them. They would be willing to relocate to Corinth and be with them and have a relationship with some of these folks. Okay, so now that you understood what the preposition plus the articular infinitive form, now we can go a little bit over this. This is the aorist tense. The aorist tense goes to the point, whatever point that in the hypothetical situation that they would die, that Corinthians would die or suffer persecution, Paul would be right there with them, also expressed in the aorist tense. The active voice, Paul produced the action of the verb of making the decision to die with them, and the infinitive mood is part of this prepositional phrase, the result, with the result that we would die with you. And then kai and sutsein, live with you. This is a present tense. It's a progressive present, but it's also more of a pictoric present, and that it presents a picture of them willing to live with them, relocate their headquarters, and be with the Corinthians. Paul did not have a headquarters. In fact, he was supposed to go to Rome instead of going to Jerusalem the year after this. But he was disobedient and decided to go to Jerusalem, which caused him to suffer divine discipline and be taken to Rome in handcuffs and chains. Active voice, Paul produces the action of the verb of being willing to live with them. And the infinitive is part of ace, which is the infinitive of result. So the NIV translated pretty correct, because I go like this. I do not say this to condemn you, for I have said before that y'all are in our hearts so much, with the result that we would die and live with you. Look how the NIV said this. I do not say this to condemn you. I have said before that you have such a place in our hearts that we will live or die with you. I cannot do any better than that. This is fantastic. This is great. And so this is personal love. This is not just impersonal love, even though impersonal love does produce sacrifice of dying with someone. But this is already appreciation towards the Corinthians. Okay, we gone over this verse. Yeah. So now we can move on to verse 4. This is the fastest I've ever gone over a verse, and I'm not sure if I should be happy about it or not, but let's just move on. If I have to go back, I will. And then, verse 4 says, in the NIV, I have spoken to you with great frankness. I take great pride in you. I am greatly encouraged in all our troubles. My joy knows no bounds. Let's see what that is about. What does that have to do with this? Well, it has to do with the ministry of Titus. After his spirit had no rest, and also his body, as we're going to see, he met with Titus, and Titus gave him the news that the Corinthians still appreciated him, that they still wanted him as pastor teacher. And finally, this is what gave him rest. But let us go over the analysis of this verse. It says right here, Polei moi paresia pros humas. So polei and paresia go together. Polei and paresia go together here. These are the nominatives. Nominative adjective, nominative noun here. Much or a lot or great. Great boldness, assurance. This is what we have here. Adjective and noun. Great assurance. And then moi. This is the possessive dative of ego, moi. Great assurance belonging to me. What does this mean? It means that he has great assurance in front of the Corinthians that he has not done anything, any of these false accusations. Paresia is a compound word, which means pas, all. Resia means to flow. It has some flowing words that to the point that you speak with confidence. And you just let it flow out, and there you are. Have you met someone, have you met a girl where she does something wrong, and she knows she did wrong, and she knows she got caught? And so what is the first thing that she does whenever you walk into the house? Start yapping and yapping and yapping and yapping, trying to portray as if everything is all right, as if she has assurance that nothing's wrong, that she has not done anything wrong, that she has confidence. By letting the mouth flow, this is a case with arrogance, not just with women, but also with men, that when something's wrong, just start speaking. The ladies do it more. They speak out whenever they're scared. They speak out whenever they're scared of they sense that they're going to get caught doing something wrong. They speak out when, I don't know, when they get turned on in public. Every time something happens, they start speaking out. Their subconscious starts running. And many times they release a little secret inside of their brain once in a while if you're paying attention. Well, this is not fake confidence, fake assurance. This is the reality that Paul has not done any of these things. All he has done to them is teach him correct doctrine, expressing his love through that correct teaching. So, much confidence to me, we're going to translate it, I have much assurance. Much assurance belonging to me. Translated, I have much assurance. Okay. Assurance, boldness. And then we have pros plus humas, the accusative of direction here, face to face with y'all. Paul says that he does not have to hide. One of the allegations of the Corinthians is that they were saying that he was a lion by the letter, and he used to express himself very strongly and speak out by the letter, but he was a mouse in public. And so Paul heard this, and later on he's going to allude to this and use it as sarcasm. So he's telling him, I have great confidence, great assurance face to face with you. I've not done any of these things. I could present myself in front of you and to defend myself. So I have great assurance with you. And now another one. Polei. This is the nominative again, feminine singular. And another nominative feminine singular of kauchesis, which is correctly translated boasting. It is not boasting in the arrogant sense. We've all met a braggart, someone who's always talking about himself. But there's a boasting when it comes to a team pride, a boasting when it comes to seeing your son thrive in something and having pride, being proud of your son, of your daughter. Yes, one can become arrogant about these things, but there is a boasting that does not have to do with arrogance. The pastor feels a specific type of pride when he sees his congregation thriving, advancing in the plan of God. 2 or 3 people, those people make him proud, make him see that his work is worth it, that all his hard work has not been in vain. He knows it already, but he likes to see it as a fruit inside of the people. So, much boasting, belonging, again the dative of possession, belonging to me. Much boasting belongs to me, so I have much boasting, and now we have huper plus the genitive of cause of su. Huper plus humon. If you know anything about huper plus the genitive, is that it could be substitution as a substitute. It could be representation as a representative, in the place of, instead of, that's a substitution. They kind of, all these things, they connect. Some of these meanings, they seem to be both representative and substitutionary. But there's also the causal one, on account of y'all. I have, so, great boasting belonging to me on account of y'all. I have great boasting because of y'all, on account of y'all. So the Corinthians have produced great boasting in Paul. They were failures. Some of them were advancing, but they have become failures. But a lot of these have recovered. How do we know that they have recovered? Because of the content of 2 Corinthians in contrast to the content of 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians was filled with a bunch of clobberings. 2 Corinthians is filled with hard doctrine. Just as we have benefited from all these for the past 200 lessons. So, this is the reason why they have produced great boasting in him, great esprit de corps. What do we have thus far? I have much assurance face to face with y'all. I have not all done any of these things. I can present myself in front of you with confidence. I have much boasting on account of y'all. You guys have made me proud. And now we're going to go back to the time where he was distressed, depressed. His human spirit had no rest. And so, what does he say? We have the perfect passive indicative of pleido o. Pleido o means to fill a deficiency. He had a deficiency of comfort, of happiness. At that moment, he was depressed because of not only the first letter of the Corinthians, not only because he did not go and pass a second time. He did not go through Corinth first instead of going through Macedon. So that caused him also uncertainty and worry. Thirdly, as obviously what they were saying, he did not know what they were thinking. And so all these things caused great depression towards him. So, pepleiroma, I have been filled. So, pleiro, and this is with comfort. God is the one who comforts. We can produce some comfort from the doctrine that we have inside of us, but sometimes when we're in the condition of Paul, we need God to come and give us some of that happiness in the midst of pressure, in the midst of suffering, also known as comfort. Here, paraklesis. All right, so I have been filled with comfort. This is the perfect tense. Perfect tense is intensive. Completed action in the past with the results continuing. That comfort is turned into happiness. And we're going to see that here with I am supplied lavishly with joy, inner happiness. So in case you wanted evidence that whether comfort was happiness in the midst of pressure, here you have it. I have been filled with comfort I am supplied lavishly with joy, and every of our pressures